show you how you can implement your own Promise.all method. Promise.all method takes an iterable of promises as an input and returns a single promise that resolves to an array of the results of the input promises. This returned promise will resolve when all of the input promises have resolved, or if the input iterable contains no promises. It rejects immediately upon any of the input promises rejecting or non-promises throwing an arrow, and will reject with this first rejection message or arrow. So this paragraph is saying that the Promise.all method is going to take an iterable of promises as its input, and it's going to return a new promise. And this new promise is going to resolve when all the promises resolves, or when there's no promise in this promise array. And this new promise is going to reject immediately when any of the promise inside this promises array rejects, and it's going to reject with that rejection message. So let's see how we can implement this. Here's my implementation. You can see we return a new promise inside the Promise.all method, and we are going to resolve immediately if there's nothing in the promises array. And we are going to use this counter to keep track of how many promises have resolved. Inside of this for loop, we loop through all the promises inside this promises array, and we're going to attach the success or fail callback to each promise. And when any of these promises rejects, we're going to reject the new promise with the rejection message. And when all of the promises resolved, we are going to resolve the new promise with an array that holds the resolved message in the correct place. So we attach the handler here, and every time a promise resolves, we increase the counter and then put the response in the result array in the correct place. And then when all the promises resolves, we're going to resolve the new promise. Hope you enjoy it, and please leave your comments below and let me know what you think about this implementation.